Hello everyone, good evening. So today is a very important and special class. Uh, I think I'm audible to you all. You can hear me, right? Okay. So this preliminary examination is coming. The prelims is coming, like we say the winter is coming, the prelims is coming. Yes. So before that, I welcome you all to SSM Sharda Educations. So today we are going to talk about a very important thing that we have everyone should discuss. Okay. Before going into the next day, that is tomorrow, because I have given you a proper, I will be giving you today a proper 60-day plan, because you can ask me, ma'am, this there are more than 60 days, but I'm just giving you a proper solid 60-day plan. Ignore the days that you might not feel like studying, you might be stressed, you want to take a break, or there is a function that you definitely have to attend, so leave that. So I'm taking a relaxation of 2 to 5 days. So this 60-day plan is a solid plan which, if you all follow, you can be clearing this exam. But provided that, one thing I tell everyone about is, you should have a honest preparation. Okay, first and foremost thing which is important in preparation is honesty. You should be honest to yourself, because you are the one who knows. See, when there is someone, okay, outside, um, who's seeing that you are preparing, might think that okay, this person is preparing real hard. But that honesty is very important when it comes to yourself. You should be very honest when you're preparing. So the idea, the content I'm giving you now, the checklist I'm giving you now, but if you honestly follow it, there is a very high possibility of you clearing this preliminary examination. Number two, I want you all to do smart work. Don't worry, I'll tell you about the smart work, how this has to be done, why this has to be done, everything I will tell you people. Okay. Third, most importantly, the probability of clearing this prelims is very high, because this year there is a vacancy more than 1,000. Okay, the vacancy is more than 1,000, which did not happen minimum of 2 to 3 years from now. Okay, so in future also we don't know if there will be a vacancy more than 1,000, which means that the probability of us clearing this examination is very high. So don't have any question on you. Like, some people will prepare judiciously. Just before 10 days before the examination, they'll get a question, am I ready for this examination? Should I write this examination? These kind of question will arise in their mind. Okay, so don't have those kind of doubts in your mind. I want you all to prepare honestly, and I want you all to get ready for this examination, and use this checklist to check if you are actually ready and go for this examination. Okay, so provided with you preparing honestly, provided with you being smart during this preparation process, and you aware that the probability of this examination, clearing this examination, is very high, this will really help you. Okay, so what we have to do, before going to what we have to do, I'll give you a 60-day plan. Keep this in mind. So 24 hours a day, that doesn't mean you have to be preparing 24 hours a day. Okay, what you have to do is, you should have a sleep of 6 to 7 hours compulsorily. That's right, 6 to 7 hours compulsorily, because this exam is, any exam, any competitive exam is related to your brain. Your brain needs sleep. Your brain needs a time to recharge. So please give this 6 to 7 hours of sleep a day. And then, please don't sleep in your afternoons. Please don't do that, because you have your CSAT paper too. Many people commit this mistake of sleeping in the afternoons. It can be 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour. Please don't do that. Get ready from today, get ready from tomorrow. Don't sleep in the afternoons. Instead, practice CSAT paper 2. Any topic, just 2 or 3 questions at least practice in that time period of 2 to 4 p.m. Get ready from today. Okay, get ready like how you go for a war. This exam is a war. Keep that in mind. This is a battle. Okay, so you have a complete war to fight, and this preliminary examination is just a battle. So kindly don't sleep in the afternoons. Apart from that, okay, give a solid 10 hours of time. That split up is upon you. I won't tell you this many hours you have to do this many hours you have to do that. Don't do that. Okay, it is up to you. You prepare, you plan accordingly and follow it. Okay, this is the timing. So you have to sleep 6 to 7 hours, and afternoon kindly don't sleep in the afternoon, only sleep at the night, or sleep after 5, or sleep before 11, before, like, 12 to 1. Don't sleep at that 2 to 4 time. If it is possible, don't sleep at all. That will be very much advisable. It is possible also. Okay, very much advisable. Take some coffee, take something, do something, go for a walk and come, do that. Don't take your lunch, especially before the examination. Don't take your lunch at this 1 to 2 gap. Take your lunch early. If you feel drowsy, also go for a walk, take a coffee, or just take a power nap before the examination. But don't do this on the daily basis. Okay, this is the plan. So what all you have to cover on the daily basis? Okay, so what are you going to cover is, first you will be covering your subjects, conventional subjects. You have to be covering your current affairs. You have to be doing CSAT 2. See, keep this in mind. Till 2020, we were all preparing, most of the people were preparing for the CSAT paper 2 just 15 days before the examination. But now the CSAT paper 2 has become a paper of elimination. You all know it's a qualifying paper, but this CSAT paper 2 is becoming a paper of elimination nowadays. So this paper is used to eliminate the majority of candidates, because many are applying and many are coming to write this examination. The UPSC is using this CSAT 2 as a paper of elimination. Don't fall for that. Okay, don't fall for that. So what you have to do is, you have to include your preparation in this 10 hours. CSAT paper 2 and 1 has to be given equal importance. Okay, at least, not equal importance, at least 2 hours per day should be given for this CSAT paper 2. So 10 hours solid, more than that will also do, will be very fine. I'm talking about effective hours. I'm not talking about the total hours. Don't think that ma'am is saying 10 hours is enough. Just don't sit for 10 hours alone. Some people sit for 15 hours, some people sit for 18 hours, but the effective hours will be only 10 hours. What work you have done effectively, that work is useful or not, that is what I'm talking about, is 10 hours, effectively 10 hours. Okay, take a break in between, nothing wrong. Do something what you feel like refreshing, do that and just come back to the studies. Don't just get lost in that relaxation process. So 10 hours daily will definitely take you to this mains. Fine. So first is subject, current affairs, CSAT paper 2. So these three things are the major things you have to do. So this current affairs is what I'm talking about, everything. It can be, monthly current affairs of any, source. And then you have to prepare of economic survey, budget, all these things I'm talking about will be included in this current affairs itself. Okay. So fourth, international organizations. There are many compilations available related to this international organizations. Kindly download it and follow that. Okay. So these are all the most important thing. This is broad category that you have to cover on a daily basis. This international organization is like 5 topics per day, 6 topics per day that can be done. Then the fifth one, very important, just 15 days before the examination, you should stop literally every institution's question papers. You should only be doing previous year questions. Make your mind, train your mind for this UPSC question. Okay, why I'm telling you is, UPSC preliminary examination is a decision making examination. You should get used to that UPSC question paper. 15 days before, stop all the other question papers. Now, I'm not talking about the subjects current affairs, I'm talking about the question papers. You might have been following a test batch, you might have been, doing something. Stop that and go for previous year question at least 10 days before. Okay, the just 2 days before the exam, don't go for some institute's question paper and just go and write. If there is any institutions which is giving you a previous year question test, that's really good, go for it. But don't go for some question paper which is not previous year question, because your brain has to train for UPSC question. UPSC questions are very unique. It's a combination of your knowledge and your presence of mind. Your brain has to get trained for that. If your brain has to get trained for that, you have to give the proper training, and that only can be given using the previous year questions. So this is a broad category. This you have to be doing religiously every day. So this subjects and current affairs, what I'll tell you is, instead of just sitting and studying some random book, go for questions. There are so many question banks. There are so many institutions which are providing questions. You can go for that, follow questions, practice more and more questions. There are so many sources of questions available. Follow questions, 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 instead of just going for some take a booking, just taking a book and studying. Go for questions. Okay, this is how the 60-day plan should be going. This is kind of a foolproof plan if you properly work. Okay, provided with, I told you, being honest and smart and all. Fine. Okay. So why I told you this is honest work, what is smart work is, sometimes there are few questions in the question paper which nobody can answer. Okay, at least in the examination hall, some people, even though you are a pro, you can't answer certain questions. There is a high possibility of committing mistakes. In that situation, there are certain topics like, nowadays UPSC is asking individuals related concepts in terms of history, and then certain questions, very tricky kind of questions cannot be answered. So instead of wasting time on those questions, concentrate on something you are very strong about but you are not very thorough about. Do you understand what I'm telling you? If you ask me, I'm very strong in terms of polity, but I am not thorough because I need a proper revision. Fine. So this all you have to be doing revision. So revision is a very important smart work. Okay, revision is a smart work that has to be definitely followed. Fine. Okay. Next. So what are all the checklist? So checklist is, what I'm telling you is, for every topic you have to definitely follow these, you have to definitely finish these concepts. GDP, national income, I'm talking about economics now. GDP and national income, inflation, banking, RBI guidelines and interest rates, treasury bills, financial and non-financial debts, share market and money market, budget and economic survey, MSP, food security, and other economic terms. So, apart from these topics, you definitely have to cover minimum of 20 years of previous year questions. Very important. Minimum of 20 years of previous year questions has to be followed. Okay. Yes. So this concept, this topic is, this topic will definitely help you. This checklist of topics will make you foolproof. Okay. Next, in history, in terms of ancient, you have Rigvedic, post-Vedic changes, Mauryan, Buddhism and Jainism. You definitely get at least one question from Buddhism and Jainism. And then philosophies. When it comes to philosophies, who, when, where, what, these kind of questions has to be answered. Travelers, Gupta's Harshavardhana and his Buddhism, Sangam era, all these comes in medieval. Okay. Next is Mughals. In medieval, Mughals, Sultanates. So especially in Mughals, you have to talk about art and administration. When it comes to Sultanates, it's reforms and administration. Then meanings of words, like name of ministries, instruments, languages, war methods, that all these things. But one most important thing is, this kind of questions can be trap, because rare to trend. So it is very rare nowadays in 2020 and 2021 prelims. They are asking rare concepts. They are going to rare trend. So what happens is that there is a high possibility you might commit mistake, and this meaning of words is a very broad concept because Mughals and Sultanates usually have their names in Arabic. So what happens, you can't learn all these things. So instead just learn the major ones, and the other things is not an issue. If the major ones come, you can answer, otherwise no issues. In Vijayanagar kingdom, you have to learn about art and culture, especially King Krishna Devaraya. Okay, next is Chola Empire, you have to know about. And modern India, it is completely important. Okay, you cannot, eliminate anything in modern India. It's completely important. That is what I'm telling you. So gray areas include, individual leaders. This gray area nowadays, more questions are asked from this gray area. So that has to be definitely taken into account. How? Mostly known questions, just read, but certain questions which cannot be answered, I told you there are certain traps in UPSC which no one can answer. This gray area will come in that. Don't worry about those questions. One or two questions will be there, no issues. Gandhian era, tribal and peasant revolt. This 1940 to 47 is very important. Many questions come from this time period. Revolt and mutinies, social reforms movement. This entire India has to be studied. Nowadays questions come from South India also. Usually questions come from Bengal, some North India and all. But now this question, is coming from South India also, both North and South. Next is polity, Parliament committees, Supreme Court and High Court, preamble DPSP, fundamental rights, fundamental duties, and cases related to that. All these things are important. Okay, so these are very important. Other than that, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, comparison, president, prime minister. So comparison based concept has to be definitely followed. Okay, that is very important. Comparison based topics. Science and technologies, day-to-day technology. What is this day-to-day technology? See, Bluetooth 5.0. What is 5G? Has 5G come into India? Okay, what you are doing, what you are using usually. Touch technology. What is touch technology? What is Internet of Things? What is artificial intelligence? These kind of questions which we are day-to-day using. Nobel Prizes related technology also can be asked again and again. Okay, so that is also very, very important. Fine. Next. Coming to geography, see geography, everybody go for that book, Go Chelong. It is differently pronounced in many situations. But what I'll tell you is two important concepts, oceanography, climatology. These two are very, very important. Along with that, rivers and its tributaries. These concepts are very important. Oceans, rivers, Indian topography, monsoons and climates. Don't go for everything in geography. Nowadays, geography is either asked in terms of agriculture or in terms of environment. So, don't go too deep into geographical concepts. And finally, international organizations and environment, IUCN data, flora and fauna in news. Not everything you can't be studying. Which has jumped from critically endangered to vulnerable, which has jumped from one to other should be followed. National parks, wildlife sanctuaries, protected areas in news. And then environmental organization, new amendments. Now recently Wildlife Protection Act amendment bill is going on. What they are amending, all these things, basic ecological terms are all very important in environment. Okay. So things to follow. What is this? See, in examination, you have to read till the last option. That you have to practice. This patience has to be practiced. Even though you know that question completely, you know the answer immediately, read till the last option. Best option is the answer, especially in polity, economy. Conceptual understanding is very important because sometimes 4 options are also right, but the best option is what UPSC is asking. Next is previous year questions. Tricky points and traps can be learned from previous year question only. There are certain terms. See, sometimes essentially, which of the following is essentially not part of federalism can be a question. Okay, dual citizenship is a part of federal nations in certain situations, but not all nations. So if there is a statement called essentially, dual citizenship will not be a form of federalism. So these kind of terms, essentially, and then maybe, always, all these kind of tricky questions, important points has to be asked, has to be noted. Information management, what information you have, that using that you have to do certain things. And then revision is very, very important, because proper revision only will help you in the exam. Otherwise, certain questions which you properly know also, you might lose in the examination. Okay. So thank you so much. And along with this daily current affairs, kindly follow SSM Sharda Education website. Subscribe to this. I will come to share daily current affairs, so that along with the previous month current affairs, only if you are following the daily current affairs parallelly, at the end of the 60 days, you can actually work for it, work for the revision. Otherwise, find at this 2 months, 60 days of current affairs will be new. Okay, after the 60 days. So don't do that. Follow the daily current affairs also, and you will have the link, for this PDF, this checklist PDF, which you can download, and you can use it for your reference also in the description part of this video. So thank you so much. I will meet you again in the daily current affairs class. Thank you.